The sound of beer splashing across a jacket made the entire bar turn. Oops. My bad, sweetheart, Rodriguez grinned, a Navy SEAL built like a tank. The beer dripped off Jessica Walker's gray t-shirt as she calmly set her phone down. Tired eyes, freckles, and a quiet kind of strength. This ain't a place for tourists, baby, Rodriguez said, leaning in, whiskey on his breath. His teammates laughed, phones out, waiting for a show. Jessica didn't flinch. She simply blotted the spill with napkins, methodical as a medic. Then, his hand clamped on her wrist. That's when everything changed. Later, when the viral videos spread online, everyone pinpointed this moment. The second Rodriguez made the biggest mistake of his life. In less than a blink, he was face down on the bar, arm twisted behind him. No one even saw her move. From the corner, Master Chief Fletcher froze mid-sip. That wasn't some bar trick. That was years of combat training. Real, professional muscle memory. Let him go, ordered Captain Hayes, the only woman in the SEAL team. You just assaulted a Navy SEAL. You know what kind of trouble you're in. Jessica let go, sat back down, and ordered water, calm as ever. Her focus never wavered, her voice steady. The crowd whispered. Someone muttered, Krav Maga. Another scoffed, lucky grab. Probably a nurse. Then Rodriguez, still red with embarrassment, growled. Arm wrestle. Let's settle this properly. Jessica shook her head. No, thank you. Hayes smirked. Scared. Jessica turned her gaze to her. Tell me something, Captain. Week 5, third phase of BUD/S. What's the protocol for underwater knot tying when your dive buddy blacks out? The entire bar fell silent. Hayes froze. And for the first time, everyone realized. Jessica Walker wasn't just some nurse. The bar goes quiet when Jessica speaks. Jake, the bartender who's stopped polishing glasses, rests his hands on the wood, listening. This isn't internet talk. It's operational. A medic who's treated blackouts and combat dives. Prove it, Jake says, sliding an unloaded Glock 19 across the bar. How fast can you field strip this? He challenges. 17 seconds with tools. 23 without. Jessica replies, calm. She reaches toward her medical bag. Inside, a compact, military-grade cardiac monitor, built to survive the worst conditions. She picks the pistol up with one hand, the water glass still in the other. What happens next looks simple. No flourishes, just efficient motion. Slide off. Barrel up. Recoil spring-free. Each part laid in a precise line, like an armorer's demonstration. 15. Someone blurts, half disbelief, half respect. The room holds its breath. Even the pool players stop. Thompson approaches, bloodshot eyes narrowing. You smell like death, he says, meaning the kind you see in war zones, not hospitals. Dimitri, a massive contractor, rises. Smartmouth nurse needs a lesson in respect, he growls. He reaches for her shoulder with a textbook grab meant to dominate. She doesn't block. She moves with him. Momentum becomes the weapon. A foot sweeps his ankle. An elbow strikes the solar plexus. He collapses, air gone. Jessica never stands. She finishes the move seated, glass in hand, as if swatting a fly. Colonel Brooks enters, older, sharp, and instantly focused. Around him, trained men go still. Who taught you that? He asks. Rodriguez and the others close ranks, forming a semicircle. Everyone who served has a call sign, Rodriguez says. If you're an operator, say it. Outside, a black SUV idles. Inside the bar, 5 elite operators flank Jessica, the exit blocked. Last chance, Rodriguez warns. Tell us your call sign, or we assume you're a fake. The tension tightens. Jessica's eyes are steady. The story is far from over. This wasn't just a confrontation anymore. It was about identity, honor, and the fine line between those who served and those who only claimed to. The bar had gone silent. Eyes locked on Jessica, waiting to see if she was real or a fraud. Jessica's phone, built with military-grade encryption and satellite link, stayed silent in her hand, a lifeline to a past she never wanted to revisit. Then Fletcher stood up. The retired Master Chief, 6 feet of quiet authority, spoke just 3 words. Stand down, Lieutenant. Even the SEALs froze. Fletcher's name was legend, the kind of man whose orders once meant life or death. Rodriguez, still burning with pride, refused to back off. She's lying, sir. What's her call sign? Before anyone could answer, the doors slammed open. Admiral Morrison, in jeans, but carrying the command of a man who'd led wars, entered, breath heavy, eyes sharp. He saw Jessica and stopped cold. Recognition hit like lightning. Jessica rose slowly. At 5 feet 6 inches, she should have looked small. Instead, the room seemed to shrink around her. Her voice was calm, almost a whisper, but it carried like thunder. Viper 1. The words detonated through the bar. Bottles slipped. Heart stopped. Rodriguez froze mid-sip, his beer shattering on the floor. Fletcher stepped back, eyes wide. The others stared as the truth sank in. The ghost sniper was standing right in front of them. The woman they thought was a nurse had once been the deadliest marksman in U.S. history. 127 confirmed kills. The Admiral dropped to one knee. Master Chief Viper. I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. Phones were already streaming, comments exploding online. Millions were watching history unfold. The moment an ordinary woman was revealed as a living legend. Admiral Morrison turned to the stunned room. Master Chief Jessica Walker, call sign Viper 1, is the most decorated female operator in U.S. military history. And for 10 years, she didn't officially exist. The room fell silent. Even the background music stopped, like the world itself was holding its breath. Jessica stood motionless. The trembling in her hands had vanished. To everyone, she looked like a tired nurse after a long shift. But the scars on her arms, the balance in her stance, and that distant 1,000-yard stare told another story. Morrison finally spoke, his voice heavy. Operation Blackwater. 6 operators sent into eastern Afghanistan to rescue 73 civilians. Intel said light resistance. They were wrong. 300 Taliban fighters surrounded them before landing. 5 operators died in 15 minutes. Only one made it out alive. He paused. Viper 1 held that compound alone for 16 hours. She saved all 73 civilians, after watching her entire team die. Every soldier in the room knew what that meant. It wasn't a mission. It was suicide. Jessica broke her silence. Rashid, 8 years old. His sister, Amira, was 6. She'd been shot. He refused to leave her. I carried them both across 200 meters of open ground under fire. And that boy kept saying, "I'll be brave, miss. I'll be brave like you." The bar went still. Everyone finally understood where Jessica's calm came from. It wasn't just training. It was survival. Brooks whispered, "The report says you died there." "How?" "Because I was supposed to," she said quietly. 67 wounds. Died twice on medevac. Spent 8 months at Walter Reed under another name. My team was gone. My identity erased. Master Chief Jessica Walker died in that valley. I became just Jessica, a nurse who saves instead of kills. The moment shattered as her phone rang. She answered, her face draining of color. "When?" she asked. A pause. "How many?" Understood. Morrison already knew. That was Langley. Jessica nodded. "Rashid, the boy from Blackwater. He's 18 now. Runs a school for girls in Kabul. The Taliban took him 3 days ago. They plan to execute him in 72 hours. Morrison's voice dropped. "Unless Viper 1 comes back from the dead." Jessica's eyes hardened. "I never stopped fighting, Morrison. I just changed the battlefield." The room held its breath again, because they all knew what was coming next. They stopped being enemies and became something else. Uneasy allies bound by a larger fight. Jessica scanned the room. SEALs who'd tried to humiliate her. A contractor who'd tried to dominate her. Officers who'd questioned her existence. In every face, she saw the same thing, recognition. Some battles transcended personal grudges. "I need to make a call," she said. "Then I need to disappear for a while. Morrison, whatever you need. Full support. Unofficial, of course." "Officially, Viper 1 is still dead," Jessica replied. "At least on paper." Fletcher stepped forward and placed a worn coin on the bar. "Task Force Black. My brother, Sergeant First Class Mickey Fletcher. Rodeo." Jessica lifted the coin reverently. "He talked about you. Said his little brother would be the best Master Chief the Navy ever had." The room felt the link. Past to present, the living and the dead. Outside, black SUVs filled the lot. Whatever Jessica's call had triggered moved fast. Rodriguez approached, hesitant, contrite. "I'm sorry. For the beer, the disrespect, for everything." Jessica put a hand on his shoulder. "You're a good operator," she said. "But tonight you learn what the job costs. What you do with that matters." Hayes. Rashid, you can't do it alone. Jessica, hand on the door. I've been alone for 10 years. He's not alone. His sister, his students, his community, they're counting on him. Like those 73 people counted on me. She left. Phones came out, not to post, but to delete. Live streams cut. The bar transformed into an impromptu ops center. Maps, laptops, secure calls. Morrison, Viper, one stays dead. Understood. Agreement was immediate. In her old Honda, Jessica opened an encrypted package from Langley. Satellite images, Rashid's face, enemy estimates, a probable strike date. It was impossible for one operator. Her phone rang. Fletcher, 12 operators ready. Where do you want them? She inhaled. The extraction had begun. All volunteers, Tier 1. Transports being arranged. Equipment's being sourced. Admiral Morrison handles diplomacy. Colonel Brooks covers the Pentagon. Jessica closes her eyes and feels something she hasn't in 10 years. Not being alone. Fletcher answers her unspoken question. Viper 1 saved 73 people when everyone said it couldn't be done. Master Chief Walker showed us tonight who is worth believing in. Rashid was 8 and tried to be brave for you. Now we'll be brave for him. Outside, operators pour from the anchor point, moving with purpose. Rodriguez coordinates by phone. Hayes, the same woman who mocked Jessica an hour ago, now moves with precise efficiency. These people, once eager to humiliate her, are risking careers and lives because they finally understand what she gave up. Tell them to stand down, Jessica says. This isn't their fight. With respect, Master Chief, Fletcher replies. That's not how this works. You showed us what service looks like. You don't carry it alone anymore. Rashid needs you, but you need us. And we need this. We need to matter. Jessica's hand goes to a neck where dog tags haven't hung in a decade. The old weight of responsibility settles back onto her shoulders. If we do this, she says, we do it right. No cowboys. No glory seekers. We get Rashid and his sister out. We all come home. Roger that, Viper 1. Fletcher says, and she hears the smile in his voice. She pulls out of the lot, sees herself in the mirror, not the tired ER nurse, but the operator she tried to bury, the warrior who refuses to die. Rashid, she whispers to the empty car. I told you I'd always watch over you. Hold on. 3 days later, a nondescript cargo plane touches down at Bram Airfield at night. Officially, it didn't exist. Jessica steps off the ramp. The decade falls away. The smell of fuel, the grind of rotors, the fit of tactical gear like a familiar friend. Multicam with no name. No insignia. Viper 1 is back in the sandbox. Fletcher stands in the shadows with 11 others, Rodriguez, Hayes, and a team of private citizens who answered the call. Sitrep. Rashid is held in a compound 20 clicks northeast. Same region as Blackwater, different valley. Early warning positions surround the fortress. Any air assault is detected 15 minutes out. They expect her. And there are more. Amamira and 12 teachers. Women sentenced to death for teaching girls to read. It is no longer one life. It is 14. It is a message. Jessica studies the satellite feed and plans. Standard assault is suicide. So she proposes something else, brilliant and insane, turning the enemy's trap into their weakness. It will rely on split-second timing, total trust, and the willingness to walk into hell. At dawn, as the Hindu Kush bleeds gold, a lone figure walks across the valley toward the compound. Hands visible. No armor. No weapons. Exactly what the Taliban expect. In hidden positions, 12 operators watch through scopes as Jessica walks. Bait for a plan that could bring everyone home. They had their sectors, their targets, their moment, but everything hinged on Jessica selling the lie. She arrived at the compound's outer wall alone, driven by guilt and a desperate plan. Trade her life for Rashid's. A ring of fighters waited. The leader stepped forward, scarred face, eyes sharpened by hate. Viper 1, he sneered. The ghost who should have died with her team. You received our invitation. I'm here for Rashid, Jessica said. Let the others go. You want me. 1 life for 14. The commander laughed, then signaled. Weapons trained on her. You will watch them die, he promised. Starting with the boy you saved. 17 seconds, Jessica said, almost whispering. The commander cocked his head, confused. What? 17, 16. Her voice grew steadier. Around the compound, 100 fighters tensed. Above, Rodriguez lay prone on a ridge, crosshair steady. Through her earpiece, Fletcher's voice. All teams stand by on Viper's mark. 10, 9. Jessica's count never wavered, even with a rifle barrel at her temple. 1. Controlled chaos. Rodriguez's round put the commander down before he could fire. Simultaneously, 11 rifles rang out from concealed positions. The outer security collapsed in seconds. Jessica rolled, drew the pistol at her small of the back, 3 shots, 3 targets, and flowed through the entrance like water. Alarms wailed. The Taliban's trap became a funnel into Fletcher's kill zones. Operators methodically dismantled defenses they'd mapped for days. In a basement cell she found them, 14 huddled in darkness. Rashid, grown but fierce. Amir, bearing old scars. 12 women, teachers who dared to teach girls. I told you I'd always watch over you, Jessica said, cutting chains with bolt cutters. Recognition, then tears. The extraction was surgical, Rodriguez and Hayes covering, Fletcher coordinating. They reached the plateau where 2 helicopters waited. 13-14. Everyone aboard. A bleeding teenage fighter stumbled out of cover, AK raised toward the civilians. Time froze. Jessica could have killed him. Every instinct screamed to pull the trigger. Instead, she lowered her weapon and spoke in Pashto. Go home to your mother. The boy's hand trembled. He dropped the rifle and ran into the shadows. As the helicopters lifted, Jessica watched the compound she'd lost a decade ago burn and fall quiet. No American casualties. 14 lives saved. The ghost of Blackwater had returned, not for revenge, but for redemption. On the flight, Rashid gripped her hand. Why didn't you shoot him? Amamira asked. Jessica stared at the mountains and answered simply, I've killed enough. Every fighter was once someone's child. Sometimes not killing is harder than pulling the trigger. Rashid stood before Jessica, the woman who had saved him twice. You gave me life twice, he said softly. How do I repay that? Jessica smiled. You already have. Every girl you've taught, every life you've changed. That's how we win this war. Keep teaching, Rashid. One by one, the team said their goodbyes. Hayes hugged Jessica, whispering, Thanks for showing me what real strength looks like. Rodriguez saluted in silence. Fletcher handed her an envelope, her real discharge papers. Turns out, he said, Master Chief Jessica Walker was never officially declared dead. Welcome back, with full honors. Months later, Jessica was packing her apartment in San Diego. She'd been promoted to head of trauma services, a new life, a new mission. Then the phone rang. Hello, Miss Viper, said a young girl's voice. My name is Fazila. I was Rashid's student. I just got a full scholarship to medical school in London. He said you showed us that women can be warriors in different ways. Thank you. Jessica sat in the quiet room, tears in her eyes. On the table lay 3 things, a challenge coin, a photo of her Delta team, and a picture of Rashid's rebuilt school. A text buzzed from Rodriguez. Team dinner tomorrow. That's an order, Master Chief. Jessica smiled. Copy that. But I'm buying the first round. As night fell over San Diego, Jessica, once the sniper, Viper 1, now a healer, felt peace for the first time in years. But her story wasn't over. A courier had left a letter that morning. No signature, just a message. Viper 1, your skills are needed. Consulting basis. Complete deniability. Blackjack. Below, a set of coordinates. Not Afghanistan this time, but somewhere closer to home. Jessica looked out the window at the glowing city. Somewhere out there, her team lived normal lives. But somewhere else, children were in danger, and someone needed to act. She picked up her phone and dialed. Blackjack, she said. It's Viper. I'm interested. Her reflection in the glass wasn't a soldier or a nurse. It was both. A ghost reborn with purpose. Because some battles never end. They just change battlefields. Viper 1 was dead. Long live Viper 1. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. More untold missions await.